Hello everybody! You know, since I've joined BookTube, which was about 6 or 7 months ago, I've learned something that I can't walk in a bookstore or get online without buying an exponential amount of books. And this month has been no exception. So I've split this up into 3 categories. I'm going to open my books that I've won on Goodreads first, since they're the smallest pile. Then I'm going to show you the books that I've physically bought from the bookstore, and then I'm going to show you all the books that I have to unbox, which they've been sitting on my floor since the beginning of this month, so I'm not even really sure what's in those boxes anymore. The first book I got from Goodreads is Just Like the Movies by Kelly Fleur, I don't know her name. And I actually won this book back in December, I think, so I'm not even sure what this book is about anymore. The second book I got, oh yeah, I'm excited for this one. It's actually an arc of Dream Fever by Kit Alloway, and this is actually the second book in, I think, the Dreamwalker series is what it's called. Anyways, even though this is an arc, the book is actually already out. It actually came out the 23rd of this month. But I'm really excited to get to this book. Since it's the second book, I'm not going to tell you much about it, except that it's about dreamwalking. The last book I got from Goodreads is Quantum Beauty by Rupert Gran. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name either. I don't know much about this book other than it's a very futuristic book. And it's put in a time where no one sleeps, and if you do sleep, you're like shunned from society, and it sounds pretty interesting. I would never be able to live in this world because I love sleep. Moving on to the large stack of books that I actually bought from a physical bookstore. Okay, the first 2 books didn't actually come from a bookstore, but it was a book that had, it was a book, but it was a store that had books in it. And the first one was So I Married a Demon Slayer by Kathy Love, Angie Fox, and Lexi Georgie. And I think it's actually 3 different short stories. Oh, I got these from the Dollar Tree, by the way. Don't know if I said that or not. The next book I got was How Not to Find a Boyfriend by Allison Valentine. And I believe this book is about a girl named Nora who was a nerd turned popular cheerleader, and then a hot guy comes around and she wants to convince him that she's not dumb, that she's very intelligent. And it seems like a nice contemporary read if you're just trying to get out of a reading slump or something, so it's probably what I'm going to read this for. This next book also didn't come from a bookstore now that I'm recalling. It's So Much Closer by Susan Cosanti, and I have not read her other book, Keep Holding On, but I'm really looking forward to it. They're very short contemporary books. The next 4 books I got, I've been looking everywhere for these exact covers. The first one is Vampire Academy, Shadow Kiss, Blood Promise, and Last Sacrifice. I now have all the Vampire Academy novels, and I've heard nothing but really good things about this series, so I really need to read it. The next book I got, I wasn't sure if I was going to get, because I haven't really heard a lot of good things about the series, but I had the first and third book, and I was like, well, I'll read the first 3 books, and if I don't like it, I'll just put it down. I hate doing that, but I will. And that is Blue Moon by Alison Noel, which is the second book in the Immortals series. The next book I got was Rumors, a Lux novel by Anne Godberson, I don't know. It's the second book of the Lux series, and I haven't really heard much about this series. I just love the covers. If you've read this series, let me know if it's good or not in the comments below. The next book I got was Waterfall by Lauren Kate. Still haven't read Teardrop yet by Lauren Kate, but I plan to. I'm not sure if this is a series or a duology or what. I've only seen these 2 books of the series, so I'm assuming it's a duology. The next 2 books I got were The Warrior Heir and The Dragonair. Sorry, Dragonair. I had a flashback to Pokemon. these are the first and third books of the, I'm not sure what this series is called, by Cinda Williams Chima. I've heard nothing but good things about this series. I've heard that the first book starts out very slow because there's a lot of world building, but I'm okay with that, and I've been on a serious fantasy kick. So after I get the second book, I'll probably pick this series up right away. The next book I got was Nevermore by Kelly Craig. And to tell you the truth, I've heard a lot of good things about this series, but I seriously started not to get it because the guy kind of freaks me out on the cover, and I don't really know. I don't really like the cover very much just because of him. Even though when I read the inside of it, it sounded kind of like Hush Hush, I've been reassured by quite a few people that it's nothing like Hush Hush. Next I have Struck by Jennifer Bosworth. And I got this book because it was recommended by Sasha for Booktopia. I really don't know anything about this book other than it's about a girl who likes to be struck by lightning, which is very, very odd. Next I have In Blaze by Jessica Shiverington, and this is, I think, the second or third book of the Embrace series. I have the first book I know, but I'm not sure which book this is. The only thing I really know about this series is about angels, and I'm also on a big angel kick right now, so this is also a book series I want to pick up soon. The next book I have is Revelations by Melissa de la Cruz, and I think this is the third book of the Blue Blood series. This is another series I've heard a lot of good things about and I really want to get into after I get the whole series. And the last book I have is Panic by Lauren Oliver. I've heard a lot of mixed feelings about this book, mostly about the characters, so I'm really wanting to read it and see what I think. It's about these kids who live in this very boring town, and they participate in this game once a year to win, I think, around $50,000, but there's also the chance you could die in the games. So that's going to be interesting to read about, and it's a contemporary. Time to get to the unboxing part of this video, which is very large. The first book I have is one of my most, oh, just hit the camera. But this is one of my most anticipated books that I wanted to get this year, and that is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard, and it's a Witchlands novel. I'm not sure how many books are going to be in this series, but I know it's about witches. The main character of this is a truth witch, and then there's a thread witch, and I don't know much about this book series, and I'm just wanting to jump into it not knowing, because there is just, you don't hear much about different kinds of witches. You're just either a witch or not a witch. So I'm really wanting to read this book really, really soon. Now moving on to the smallest box. Okay, I only have 2 books in this box, and the first one is In the Afterlight by Alexandra Bracken. And can I just say that these books, for being paperback, they're flippin' heavy. I mean, they weigh more than my head does, which is 10 pounds if anyone doesn't know how much a head weighs. The second book I got in that box was Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard. I can't believe I forgot. I love this because I got it autographed. I love getting autographed books since I don't get to go to like bookish events. The next box, it also only had 2 books in it. What is with them sending boxes with just 2 books in it? The first one is Apollon, I think I'm saying that right, by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and this is a part of her Covenant series. This is the 4th book, and I really cannot wait to get into the series because I know it's about Greek mythology, and I love Greek mythology. Last book in that box was Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. This is a high fantasy series from what I've heard, and it takes place in multiple characters' points of view. I'm not really sure what it's about other than that, but I've heard so many great things about the series that I really just want to dive into it. I think the 4th book just came out. Moving on to the 3rd box. Okay, there was a lot of exciting things in that box. There's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 books in that box. And the first one was Sentinel, the 5th and last book of the Covenant series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And then I also got the 2 novellas, Demon and Elixir by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I'm not sure where exactly in the book series these take place, so I'm not sure where they fit into it. But they're very, very small. And they're like $4 a piece, which was kind of disappointing given they're so small. And then this really irritated me. It's like, that, what? That's a big height difference that I really didn't like. The next book I got was Oblivion by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and this book is basically Obsidian and Damien's point of view, and I loved the Lux series, so I'm anxious to read it in Damien's point of view. And I love the fact that the last two books had parts of the book in his point of view, and I really enjoyed reading from his point of view, so I have a feeling I'm going to love this. The next book I got is Starflight by Melissa Landers, who wrote the Alienated series. I've heard nothing but good things about this book and her other books, so I'm really excited to be reading this. The next three books I am so excited for, and they're actually graphic novels. And the first one is Clockwork Angel, then we have Clockwork Prince, and then we have Clockwork Princess, and they are so, so beautiful. I love them, especially this one. I love the way they drew Will, and I haven't even really flipped through them. I'm going to avoid that because I just finished the series, and I have review videos up for the Infernal Device series if you want to go watch those. I'll leave links to them below. But I don't want to read these yet because I'm still trying to get over Clockwork Princess. So excited to have them. They're so pretty. The second to last box from the Book Outlet, apparently. The first book I got, I will probably get a little judgment for. The Mortal Instruments City of Bones Movie Tie-In Edition. I've resisted buying the TV tie-in edition, but I did buy this one because I don't have City of Bones in hardback, and I couldn't find a cheap one in hardback. So I saw this for like $5 on the Book Outlet, and I was like, I want it so bad, so I bought it. The next book I got was Siren's Fury by Mary Weber, and this is actually the second book of the Storm Siren series. I'm actually not sure what the series is called, but I do know Storm Siren is the first book. The next book I got is Golden Sun by Pierce Brown, which is the second book of the Red Rising trilogy. And I have to tell you, I have no clue what the series is about. I think it takes place with them living on Mars. I think. All I know is people have been raving about this book series, and the last book just came out, Morning Sun, so I'm hopefully going to be getting that soon. The next book I got was Unbreakable by Elizabeth Norris. This is the sequel to Unraveling. I'm not sure what this book is about, but the first book is about this girl who dies. One of the boys from school actually brings her back to life. The last book in that box is Destined for Doom by Carrie Corp and Laurie Langdon. I didn't know this was there's 4 books in this series so far, so I am really behind and I need to jump on this bandwagon because I've heard nothing but good things about this series. And finally, the last and heaviest box. First book I got was The Madman's Daughter by Megan Shepherd. And this is actually the first book in a trilogy, and I think, I haven't really read the back, but from what I've heard, I think it's like a like a Frankenstein retelling. Next book I got was Perfect Couple by Jennifer Eccles. I hope I said that right. But this book is basically about 2 totally different characters picked as perfect couple in their yearbook, and neither of them can understand it. And I think this is just about them trying to understand why people think they're the perfect couple, and then they end up being the perfect couple, and you know, it's just a cute contemporary novel. The next book I got is Control by Lydia Kang. I hope that was right. But I haven't really looked into this book at all, so I don't really know anything about it. The next book I got is Dreamfire by Kate Holloway, which is the first book in the... I'm not sure what the name of this series is, but it's the first book, and Dream Fever is the second book, which the next book I got is I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nielsen, and I have to say I love this cover. This book has been recommended to me by a lot of people, so that's the basic reason why I picked it up, so I don't know much about it. The next book I got is The Geography of You and Me by Jennifer E. Smith, who wrote This Is What Happy Looks Like and The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight. And I loved This Is What Happy Looks Like. I haven't read The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight yet. Wow, that was good. I said that really fast. But I do love her writing, and they're just really cute contemporary novels, and they don't take place over a long span of time. I think this book actually takes place within like a few hours. So I really can't wait to read this book. I love her books. And the last 3 books I got are Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, and Isla and the Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. And I've heard a lot of good things about this book series, and they look like really cute contemporary novels. And even though I'm not really a big contemporary reader, which you wouldn't think by the amount of contemporary novels I have in this haul, but they're really good to get over reading slumps or a book hangover. Well, that is the end of this book haul. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books, or if there's one particular book in this haul you were really excited to see. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be reading next month except Lady Midnight, so I may pick whatever books I read next based on your comments. Until next time, guys, bye!